So today's vlog is obviously here at Fashionphile, but we will also be going to the RealReal and to What Goes Around Comes Around and after we leave here. And when you go into the building, in order to get to the actual showroom, you walk down this very, very long hallway. And as you walk down the hallway, you get to see into the cages. And this is meant to mirror, as you drive into the original Fashionphile location in California, seeing all the cages as you drive in. They also had a ton of beautiful display boxes up for Chanel. So everything in the display boxes was Chanel in honor of her birthday. And the showroom itself was really big, really spacious, so there was plenty of room to spread out. They had a lot of themed tables, so this table was the raffia table, and I thought that the cheetah print raffia was just kind of neat and different. They also have this area where they display a lot of homeware, so they'll bring out various Hermes pillows and blankets, various Louis Vuitton trunks, and right now they had these Murakami pieces on display, as well as some of Pharrell's first collection, and they were just really neat pieces to see. They also have a wall full of Hermes bags, and you're able to see into various areas of the process as well. Here's where we have some authenticators. This is where they are taking photos of various bags, and in addition to the YouTubers that were there, we ran into Megan from Train Girl Megan. Now, the next thing they showed us is this real versus fake challenge showing why we use authenticators. These were what were defined as super fakes, and I will admit they were pretty good fakes, but you could definitely see and particularly feel that there were a lot of differences. So first up we have this Speedy here, and the canvas on the fake one was very well duplicated. But the thing that I really noticed was the biggest difference between these two bags was the aging on the hardware. And for me, that was the key to telling which one was real versus which one was fake. Now, I felt pretty confident in my Louis Vuitton choice, but when we move over to Chanel here in just a second, I had absolutely no idea really what I was looking for because I don't own this bag. I don't really have a ton of Chanel or experience being around a ton of Chanel. So I'm gonna be honest, I was really happy to guess here. The leather definitely felt different between the two.
So you changed your mind, don't you? Yeah.
Okay, but so the majority thinks that the right one is fake and the left is real. That's the majority vote.
So everyone thinks that this one's fake.
I thought that was real.
Okay. Do you want the answer?
Yes.
This is fake.
That is fake.
It's the white. It's all in the white.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's also the bottom. The way it is on the bottom, it caves in the wear on the bottom.
Yes. So the way that I can tell is if you look here, if you look at both of these CCs, you can see that this stitching is the same color as this, whereas this stitching is completely different, and it should look like seamless like that. It shouldn't look completely different.
You like not so stand out.
Exactly. Like this is like burgundy, like this is like a, you know, like a Bordeaux kind of red, and then this is like a dark red, and then this is kind of like a, I don't know, like a maroon, if you will. And there's a contrast. Yeah. Whereas this one is really tall, and the A is really, really like tall, and that one's more like short and lanky, and that's the way that it should look. That's the way that the authentic one. So they would have been like, oh, this is fake. With this one is so much more different. This one is the real one. This is the fake one. So if you look, I think you said that this one's too shiny and too new. You were right. So the shininess kind of is a good indicator if the rest of the bag is worn and patinaed. If this is shiny, it's fake because it should dull the way that the rest of the bag does. And then another indicator is the way that the hop stamp is, the way that the date code is. So this date code is really tiny and almost like ingrained. And then if you look at this one, you can see how like blatant and obvious this is, and this is just like, it's not as ingrained as the one.
Now on to the really exciting part, which was looking at the bags. They let us each have 2 pieces out at a time from our wish list, and we had each gone through and added our items to our own list so that they could pull the items for us. The first 2 things they brought out for me were the 2 Chanel wallet on chains that I had picked out, and I wanted to directly compare those, so I was really glad they brought them out together. But I was super impressed with the quality of these bags because they were in really, really great shape. There was not marks on the leather. There wasn't a whole lot of misshaping going on. Like, everything was in really excellent condition on these 2 bags. This dark gray metallic that you see here in my hand was priced at $19.90 that day. And then this red aged crinkled calfskin you see me looking at now was priced at $20.70. So really fantastic prices on these walks. And they were also just really interesting pieces because one had the metallic, the other being a reissue. Reissues typically have the all metal chain, but this one was different in that it had the leather and metal chain with it, but was still the reissue with the much quieter hardware, and that was really exciting to get to see. Both of these I've actually been looking at for several months on the website, and knowing that I was going to New York, I just decided to wait until I got there to see them in person. This is the red one doubled up as a shoulder bag, and then I have the gray one wrapped once underneath to make it a shorter, long bag on the shoulder. And like I said, just really fantastic condition. Next, they brought me out a watch, and I was really surprised. This watch looked brand new in perfect condition, and as you guys know, I have been looking for a new watch. Now, the next thing that they brought me was a midi Fendi First, and it was in chocolate, which I've been wanting a chocolate bag for a while, but there's even still the stickers on the hardware that you can see there, and I was just really impressed with, again, the quality. There was the teeny tiniest little scuff on the corner of the bag. It's really not even noticeable. It didn't show up at all on my phone's camera, but just such great quality from the bag. Now, one thing that did surprise me a little bit about this bag was the weight of it. It's a very heavy bag, much more so than what I was expecting, and much more so than what I've seen on the small version. There's a definite weight difference between the small and the midi, and I'm trying to decide if I thought that this was too big on my frame or not, because it was definitely too big to be carried handheld, heavy-wise, for me all night. Next up, you'll see me with this Louis Vuitton Alma from 1996.
1996 Alma, so my birth year Alma in Epi, and it is so pretty. Let me put it on the table and like open it up for you guys. It is in such good condition for being as old as me.
And so here, just some closer up shots where you can see the zipper did move all the way around. It was a little bit sticky in some parts, but not overly so, particularly because of the shape of the bag. And the thing that really impressed me was this suede was in gorgeous, immaculate, like new condition. There was not a mark on that suede, and for being 28 years old, I'm extremely impressed with. It still felt wonderful and luxurious. There were a couple marks on the bottom of this bag, and I'm showing you to them there, but overall the bag was in exceptional condition, and they really aren't things that you would notice much at all. Now for the group opinion, it's from 1996, so it's my birth year.
Well, I mean, that's instantly sold, isn't it?
It's from 1996. It's $695.
I'm just going to pretend you're not more than 20 years old.
That's what I say.
What year did you just say?
1996?
Yeah, I was born then too.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Plus VAT, plus tax, plus more VAT, plus more tax.
But no, like it's a birth year piece.
I think
It's a
my
contender.
birth year
It's a
pieces
contender.
would disintegrate.
Then we moved on to the 2 YSL bags that I'd pulled. This one was suede with fringe and snakes on the hardware, which as a Slytherin I was super excited about. But the bag, again, in really, really great condition and perfect suede. There wasn't any marks on the suede, no weird spotches. So just a really cool, unique bag.
It's like, think about this with the suede jacket that I got in January in New York.
And the thing for me about really enjoying pre-loved pieces is that you get to find really unique gems like this that were limited, that you can't still get in the store, and that's really the benefit of going pre-loved, is that you have this wide range of pieces to choose from. Now, after the brown suede piece, I then looked at this light gray jersey piece, and it definitely didn't go at all with the outfit that I had on, but it was just a really fun take on the Lou puffer bag. I could definitely see wearing this, like if I'm in just like sweats and a sweatshirt going to the grocery store running errands, I think that this would be a fantastic, really chic, cool bag. And again, perfect, immaculate condition. I did think though that this bag was probably a little bit overpriced for where it should be, but overall neat bag. I then went to try on a couple more watches. This was a two-tone tag watch. It did have some wear on it, but overall in pretty great condition. Most of the wear was coming on some scratches on the gold as well as on the clasp. But overall, a really neat watch to get to see and try on at a really great price. And then the other watch that they brought out was the Formula One version of the watch in the white ceramic. I had never looked at a ceramic watch before, so I was really intrigued to see this one and see if I thought it would work with my style and with my stacks. Now, I will say that with this watch, I think it was a really cool watch. I think it was in really good condition, but it just didn't really go with my jewelry look or with my style. So while I appreciated the watch and while it was a great price, it just wasn't going to be the right watch for me. Next, we are looking at David Yurman. This was a 2-chain necklace from the buckle collection. So it had a gold and diamond buckle on it, which you could either have in the front or the back, that functioned as the clasp of the necklace. And I will say that when it comes to David Yurman, they are generally fairly priced on older pieces, retired pieces that you can't get anymore. I think their pricing there is pretty great. When it comes to David Yurman pieces from Fashionphile that are current pieces, you aren't necessarily getting as much of a bargain, and I would much rather buy my current pieces new in store than going pre-loved for them. But if you are looking for something that's special, that's unique, that you can't get anymore, I think that you can have a really good shot at finding something on Fashionphile if you watch the website. And I really did enjoy just trying on this necklace and preening with it. Next, we went to the RealReal, and this was very interesting because it was an entirely different layout to the store than what Fashionphile had been. And there were some neat pieces that you'll see here, like that Gucci jumpsuit. There was this black leather dress. There were some beautiful blazers and sweaters that they had in. But overall, you kind of felt like that you were hunting through the racks a little bit. So while there were great pieces like this Alexander McQueen piece, like I think that this was maybe a Prada piece here that you're seeing, really cool, interesting things, but you didn't feel like you were in a luxury store necessarily. Also, when it came to Chanel, very overpriced on the ready-to-wear. That little tiny purple jacket was $5,000 still. And so when you're going through and you're looking at things, you want to feel like it's luxury, and a lot of the pieces were not in the best condition ever.
So this is the black and silver version of a bag that Rachel wore on Friends in red and gold that I've been obsessing over. I'm so excited that I get to see a version in person. It's dirty though. Looks like that it's maybe magnetic for how it closes. So maybe, no, it just slides down. Big enough for a phone to fit in though.
Once again, they had a lot of very unique handbags here and a lot of different Hermes bags out on display, including that sunset Birkin that you see down there in the corner, or maybe it was the sunrise, I'm not sure which was which. But just a lot of really interesting pieces to get to see. They had some Goyard. I really liked this gold metallic molded Lady Dior. I thought that that was kind of cool and different. But overall, I wasn't overly impressed with what I was seeing, and there didn't seem to be as big of a selection as I would have expected from the store. They did have a lot of jewelry in cases, and a lot of the jewelry was really gorgeous, beautiful pieces, and some of it just fine jewelry, not even branded jewelry.
Okay, guys, like this is, oh my gosh. Like how cool does this look? Like it comes with the belt. It looks like it's not even been worn really. Oh, and these power shoulders. The shoulder pads. Ooh. This one's nice. Ooh, this one's real nice. And like the pockets. Oh, and they're real pockets.
Next up, we went down the street to What Goes Around Comes Around in their first Soho location, and we weren't allowed to film in there, so I did get pictures. What Goes Around Comes Around, out of all the places that we went to, has the most unique pieces. That being said, they're also the most overpriced for their pieces. But what's very interesting is anytime that we like a piece, they'd say, oh, let's make you a better offer on this piece. And that was very interesting to see and experience. Now, this is the exact same walk that I tried on at Fashionphile for $1,500 more. And the clothing, they had a lot of gorgeous clothing pieces. Their clothing pieces were in way better condition than those that were at the RealReal. But that being said, they were pretty overpriced. You were definitely not going to be finding a bargain on clothing in this store. We then left the first location and were walked by the sales associate over to the second location, which you are now seeing images of. And again, a lot of beautiful stock. This was much more spread out and open in the store as opposed to the original location that was much more closed off. They do have these really cool old trunks that I think would make amazing coffee tables. And again, just really cool, unique pieces of clothing. That blue one reminded me a lot of an outfit from the Disney show Hannah Montana. But then I saw this little yellow bag, which had been on my radar from their Instagram, and I had actually sent in our group message several weeks before New York, and I thought it had sold, but it didn't. It was right here, so I had to try it on. And I think that this is probably as good a spot as any to end this pre-loved luxury shopping vlog. Make sure to check out all the other ladies' channels who have also been vlogging this experience. And I have one more vlog left on Saturday, and then my unboxing will come out next Tuesday. So make sure to be subscribed so you don't miss any of the rest of the New York content.